you guys be the gatekeepers at my party?
Yes.
Okay,
Jeff's
good.
allowed.
No Jeff.
Yeah.
No Jeff. Jeff is on the do not invite list.
I hope he shows up so we can kick him out, though.
I know.
That'd be cool.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Millennial TeaV. This is Adrienne.
Candace.
And Liz.
And we will be recapping Season 2, Episode 11, Don't Hate the Game. We love hearing from you guys, and we're so glad you guys enjoyed last week's episode, so please continue to send us your feedback on Instagram, Reddit, or on our email, millennialteav, that's millennialteav@gmail.com.
So before we get into pop culture news, though, I wanted to talk about the results of the poll that we put on Instagram of that hoodie that Kristin wore in last week's episode, that apparently pink-colored transparent hoodie. Although I'm going to say the poll was pretty close. Okay, I think it ended up being like 56-44, so I'm going to say it's still kind of orange to me.
No, it's pink. I was so happy, and I didn't even vote.
I didn't either.
I definitely did.
Yeah, I know. I saw you. I'm like, I see you, Adrienne. I see you. I didn't even vote. But it was pink. It was a freaking pink.
Oh my god!
Sheer
Okay.
sweatshirt.
We are gonna repost this when Alex wears it on that future episode because it's gonna be orange there. Okay.
Yeah, when it comes back. Because my opinion changed of it in that one. I thought it looked more orange. So
Yeah.
when Alex wore it. So we'll see.
I think it looks more orange on her, but I still think it's a pink sweatshirt. Like, I could see why you would say it's orange when Alex wears it, but I don't at all when Kristin wears it. When Kristin wears it, it's straight up pink.
So interesting. So yeah, we're gonna poll you guys again, but fine, Candace, you win this time.
This is our version of the blue and black and gold and white dress. Like,
Totally.
Yeah.
this sheer sweatshirt.
Does someone own the sweater that we can like have it in person?
Yeah.
You know, I had a sheer, like, it wasn't sheer, it was like fishnet kind of, but it was pink and orange ombre. So, like, you know, maybe, I don't know. It was a really cute shirt. It was one of my faves.
Do you still have it?
No, God, that was like middle school.
So let's segue into this week's pop culture news. This week, I wanted to talk about Abby and Brittany Hensel, who are 34-year-old conjoined twins that were featured on TLC specials that aired all the way back in 2006. So Abby and Brittany each have their own heart, stomach, spine, lungs, and spinal cord, but they each control an arm and leg on the same body. So news kind of came out about them last week because I think they've been doing some TikToks, and people found out that one of the twins, Abby, got married to a man named Josh Bowling, which got a lot of people talking about like the physiology of how it would be to be in a relationship with a pair of conjoined twins. And there was like a lot of gross conversation online. I don't know if you guys saw on social media about this. And I was just like, it's kind of inappropriate. So kind of want to stay away from that, but kind of just talk about Abby and Brittany, who perfectly crosses our love of pop culture and also TLC.
I just want to say, though, like, about that.
Yes.
I feel like it just needs to be said that, like, whatever anybody does in the bedroom, that's their business. Like,
exactly.
Stay out of that.
Yes.
And it's so gross and weird. Like, I know people are just naturally curious, but, like, just, it's so weird. And, like, maybe they don't do anything at all. Maybe that's their decision. Maybe that's how they do things. Maybe that's, you know, love does not have to be about sex. Maybe, hey, whatever happens, just leave it alone. You know, you're lucky that they shared their lives with you at all.
Totally.
Don't overstep. Don't overstep.
Totally. And I know it's the internet, but for people to be like making videos with like attaching their faces and talking about it, I'm like, ew, like I feel weird just like if I would post something about it.
Be curious all day about it. Talk to your significant other about it. Be curious.
Yes.
I don't care. But don't go on the internet.
Yeah. And don't talk shit, basically.
Yeah.
So they're both actually teachers now, and they teach elementary school. And I heard that they actually share a paycheck because they're doing one person's job, which sucks.
But they had to pay 2 college tuitions.
Hold on. So they paid 1 tuition fee, but 2 registration fees.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is
Why?
like,
Yeah.
why did you guys make them do that? But
I thought they paid like 2 separate everything.
I heard it was the same tuition, but 2 registration fees.
Huh.
That's interesting.
How did they differentiate that? I don't freaking know. But do you guys remember them or watch them on TLC back in the day when they were like learning how to drive?
Yes.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
watched all of those. Yeah.
They were on like Oprah too, I
Mhm,
think.
Yeah.
I definitely remember them, and I definitely had the same, like, you're just naturally curious. You're like, how do they live? Like, how do they?
Yeah.
But they have a very normal life.
Mhm.
And it's, like, super interesting because, you know, when you have, you know, you're having a baby, they tell you it's conjoined twins, and you're like, what do I do? You know what I mean? Like, do I separate? Do I whatever? And then sometimes you can't. And I think that was the case with Abby and Brittany.
Mhm.
One of them would have died. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, how do you make that choice? You know?
Mhm.
Because they're fully 2 people.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just like, you know, so like I mean that's crazy. I'm like so impressed by them.
Mhm.
That they have this like completely normal life, and imagine being stuck with your sister 24/7.
I know.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I mean, it's all they've ever known. So they don't
Right.
know anything different. But I just think about that a lot, and I'm like, oh god. I don't know if I could do it. Like, I love her, but we're very different people.
It's like not having the ability to have any separation.
Mhm.
Right. And, like, do you have to do the same things? Like, because they share, like, hands,
Mhm.
you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, like, if one's, like, reading and you're, like, holding the book, like, it's just all
Right.
very interesting. Like, do you have to watch the same TV shows? Do you have to, like, does one person love The Office and the other one hates it and they have
Yeah.
to sit through it? Like, you know?
Yeah. I think that's what people forget is that they share body parts, but they have 2 separate brains. So
Mm-hmm.
what if they get in argument? I'm sure they get in arguments, but
Yeah.
it's so interesting.
I read that they often eat 2 different meals, but sometimes they'll just eat one because it's easier.
Like one will eat and the other won't, or they're both eat the
Like
same
off
thing.
of the same plate.
Okay,
Like they'll
gotcha.
eat the same thing.
Because they have 2 separate stomachs, right?
Yeah, and they have 2 separate mouths and
Right,
everything.
right.
But like it's their hands. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's just easier to like eat. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
That like sometimes they'll order something different at restaurants, but most of the time they just share one thing.
That's so interesting.
I would like to know how she met the husband. Like aside from all of like the, weird sex stuff, it's like I just am curious of how they met and then how that like relationship formed. Like did he have to have a relationship with the sister as well, as far as like they have to like each other,
And
you know?
your sister's going on all your dates.
Yeah.
Right. Like I just wonder how that initially went with like first date and first kiss and stuff like that. It's just really
Yeah.
interesting to think about.
See, for me, I always thought that it would make more sense if they found a guy that loved them both. And I know that
Yeah.
sounds like insane. They're 2 different people. But like,
Right.
I just think that would make the most sense for them in this situation. But I
Yeah.
mean, if they can make this work, my worry is that Abby and Josh will be together and then Brittany is going to have a hard time finding.
Yeah, what if she meets a guy that she wants to
Yeah.
marry too? How's that going
And
to
like,
work?
Yeah.
are they moving in together? Like, I'm like, what's.
I would
They'd
assume
have
so,
to-
yeah.
Yeah, I would think so too.
Well, but then like Brittany's just like, I don't know.
But maybe they have like such a close bond and just such an understanding of always like being there. Like it's not something I feel like we can understand,
No,
No.
not at all. Yeah.
But it's just so
Yeah, we'll
interesting.
never
Yeah.
I
understand.
feel like not a lot of conjoined twins even like live, right? Like past when they're
Mhm.
born.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of amazing that they've been able to go on, drive, like have a career,
I
get married.
know.
Like it's awesome.
It is awesome.
It is super awesome. I am endlessly impressed with them.
Mhm.
It's just very like I would love to like pick their brains a little bit and just like
Mhm.
be like, how do you like do all of this? Like it's so interesting. It's beyond twins, you know?
Totally.
Yeah.
Hopefully TLC does some kind of like update so we can see a little bit more of their lives today because they haven't done one on them in like quite a while. But we hope to see Abby and Brittany on TLC soon.
So, on this week's episode, Kristin recaps her weekend in San Francisco and says that her weekend with Steven was a disaster because he still treated her like his girlfriend. Oh, and apparently Jessica had moved on from Jason after Cabo and was now after some guy named Jeff. Apparently he's a good guy, but Not after what we see him doing with Kristin at their raging fiesta. And this is paired, by the way, with clips of Kristin looking so out of it and biting Jeff's elbow.
I know, but the little clips that they showed of Jessica and Jeff were so cute in the one little scene. And then I'm like, how sad. It's all going to get ruined at the fiesta.
I was more enraged by Kristin's little scenes with Jeff.
Yeah, and she's like, I just want Jessica to be happy. I'm like,
Yeah, right.
Then in the first scene, we see Alex H. and Jessica at the beach talking about how much Jessica likes Jeff. She says she's doing so good with him, which to her literally means he's calling her every day, unlike Jason.
So cute, though. She's like, I'm doing so good. She's so cute about it. Like, it's definitely a rebound, but it's like a happy rebound. Like, we're happy. We're happy. Like, Jessica looks good. She looks happy.
Yeah.
She looks healthy. She looks like she's not going to hook up with Jason anymore.
Yeah.
I mean,
For
right.
now.
Like, you know, if you know, then you know. But it looks that way, which is really exciting.
She looks like she's really into Jeff. Yeah.
Yes.
They talk about the saying, don't hate the game, hate the player, which is hilarious because the saying is literally don't hate the player, hate the game. And they talk about how much they hate the game because they don't know how to play the game. And it's ironic because their best friend Kristin is literally the queen of playing the game with the boys. And I'm sure they look to her for tips and tricks, but it's so true. I feel like you're either good at it or you're not. And it's something really hard to learn. Are you guys good at playing the game?
I'm Jessica. What do you think?
Are you Jessica with Dieter or are you Jessica with Jason?
Both. In different times of my life. Like, I could not play the game to save my life. And when I tried to play the game, it never worked because as soon as the guy, like, showed a little bit of interest, I'm like, oh my God, I love you. So, like, it didn't. So, and then they're like, wait, this is not, like, what I asked for. So, whatever. I just have to say, though, this don't hate the game, hate the player scene drives me insane every single time that I watch it. I want to jump through the screen and tell them, no, 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 that doesn't make any sense.
And they both, like, validate each other. They, like, look
Yeah.
at
They're like, yeah, that's
don't
right.
hate the player, hate
Yeah.
the game,
Yeah.
right? They're like, yeah.
That's it.
No, I think it's don't
hate
the game, hate the player. And I literally, like, I remember the first time watching that being like, no, so wrong.
Yeah, it makes
Like,
no sense.
it's so wrong. Like,
Watching this the first time was my first time ever hearing this saying. So poor me who had to go through I don't know how long thinking that don't hate the
Oh
game,
my
hate the player
gosh.
was the real saying.
were you walking around saying that?
Probably. And then I think years later I Googled it and I was like, what?
I'm
the
crying for you. That's
F?
terrible.
That's hilarious.
Liz, were you an Alex H or were you a Jessica or were you a Kristin?
Oh gosh.
Could you play the game?
I was not a Kristin. I don't know. I was probably more of a Jessica, you know, just with like getting really serious in quotes, I say, with like high school boyfriends and stuff like
you
that.
had serious boyfriends, didn't you?
I
Like,
did. Yeah. And then I dated a bunch of losers until I started dating Kyle. So
You would have been like one of
Aw.
the girls that I had like such jealousy over because you like found a guy.
'Cause I had a boyfriend.
Yeah, you had a boyfriend who like
Yeah.
stayed with you for like more than 5
Mhm.
minutes, and like I would have been so jealous
Yeah.
of you. I was so jealous of those girls. I like didn't understand how they did it because my boyfriends left me after like 2 weeks. Like, and all I wanted was just a sweet high school like romance.
mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Wow.
Didn't happen for me.
Yeah, I had a boyfriend almost my entire senior year of high school. And then we tried to stay together when I moved to San Diego, and that obviously did not work out. Like, it ended very quickly. So, but again, I was like devastated because in my head, I'm like, I'm going to marry this guy, you know, which is ridiculous. So thank God I did not marry him.
And now we have a Prince Charming.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. I love.
And in the first scene after the song, we see Alex H and Kristin setting up for their fiesta at Alex H's house. They hang decorations and even hang a piñata on the deck. And I gotta call out, Alex is in this bright green, like, towel dress. I don't even know what to call it.
Like a cover-up?
Yeah, but it looked like it was, like, towel material.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really cute on her.
Yeah, I liked Kristin's mini skirt and pink tank top. I thought it was cute.
It looked like a sloppy mess, but I think only because she was so sloppy after.
I'm like, it's cute. Adrienne's like, it was a mess.
I just have the image of her sitting on that bench with Jeff.
I know. Oh my
It's a
God.
mess. They head inside, and Kristin calls Talon to invite him to their fiesta that starts at 2:30. Talon asks her why Morgan can't come, and Kristin whispers to Alex to help her come up with an answer because she doesn't know what to say. Kristin first answers, "It's not my house," which is so funny. And then she tells him that Morgan can come, but she can't bring all of her friends. She tells him not to get her in the middle of it, and Alex is in the background telling her, "Morgan can come! Morgan can come!" And then when Talon asks her why, she just gives him a vague, "I'll tell you later."
But, like, why are they suddenly not good with Morgan? Like,
Yeah.
I know they keep saying, like, Morgan can come, but, like, it just seems weird.
Yeah.
They're, like, suddenly not good with Morgan, even though the whole season they were. And I get it. They're, like,
And
not
why
good.
are they not good with Alex and Taylor?
And then
They
Taylor.
just
Yeah.
made up with
Yeah,
them.
it's
were
really
hanging out,
weird.
yeah.
And, like, this is so high school.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I can remember being at a party and having somebody call and be like, well, I'm with these people. Can they come? And we're like,
Mhm.
no. Like, but why? Like, it's so dumb. Like, sure, the more the merrier. But I just remember that so vividly. Like, even into my 20s, my 20th birthday party, I had a hotel party and bought all this alcohol illegally. And we were all getting shit-faced. And I just remember I told my two best friends, I made them, like, owner of the party, so, like, they could throw people out if they if they got too rowdy, but they were the only other two people that could throw people out other than me, and they were the only two people who could, like, tell people they could come. Like, that was, like, my thing. I was like, yeah, so, like, Ariel and Kelsey are the only ones that can tell you if you can come or not. So you have to ask one of us if you want to bring someone. Like, it was so ridiculous. Like, why?
Yeah.
Why did it matter? Like, I don't care.
You're like, I'm not sharing my booze
I
that
know.
I
Yeah.
worked so hard to get, okay?
I mean, I'm pretty sure I just went to the store with Ariel's sister and her older sister, and she bought us the alcohol.
Nice.
She can't still get in trouble for this, right?
Yeah.
Just don't name names.
Statute of limitations, right?
Yeah.
I'm 32 now. They can't possibly still care.
I have to mention, in that whole scene, by the way, Alex is next to Kristin on the phone making a margarita mix on
Mhm.
camera, which on Back to the Beach, Kristin said really was them making an alcoholic drink. And I cannot believe MTV let that fly on camera.
I never noticed that, but then it's so funny how that plant was, like, conveniently located directly in front of the bottle, so we couldn't see, like, the label. But when you were pouring it, you could see the top. Like, it was obviously, like, tequila or something.
It's
Oh,
like
you
bright
know?
green, too.
I was gonna say,
it was
could
probably a
you-
margarita mix.
Could
Yeah.
you see the actual alcohol or just the margarita mix? Because margarita mix doesn't have anything in it.
Some of them do.
Really?
At Costco. Some of them
Oh,
do,
I thought the margarita mix was just like the limeade and stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's not just drinking margarita mix, though.
No,
Well,
it's definitely,
obviously,
yeah.
I know
You know,
that, but I'm
so-
just saying, like, was the
She's, like,
alcohol
stirring
on
it.
camera or, like, just the margarita mix? Because maybe that's how they got away with it.
I think it was the alcohol because the top of the bottle had that, like, plastic, like, filtery looking thing that, you know, liquor bottles have on top.
Yeah. Well,
Pretty hilarious, like, noticing that now.
screwed the pooch on that one, MTV.
Alex comments that it's funny that the two of them, and I can only guess it's Alex and Taylor, had parties that her and Kristin weren't invited to, so she doesn't know why they were surprised that they weren't invited to their fiesta, which, you know, we said this, but let's rewind. A few episodes ago, Alex M and Alex H just made up and the four of them went to dinner together, so MTV must definitely be playing with timelines here because this does not make any sense at all.
Yeah. Like, what
I
happened?
didn't even think about the timeline.
Because, like, it doesn't make sense. They're, like, friends. They're not friends. Kristen's
Mhm.
now good with, or, like, not good with Talon. I don't know. He was kind of weird in this little, like, fiesta scene here. But, and Kristen's hair was really blonde, if you guys noticed.
It was. I will say it was interesting that it's also kind of the first time that
Alex acknowledges that they're being filmed because she says, like, 2 of the people didn't invite us to parties, but I don't want to say their names. Like, she didn't want to say their name on camera because there was no one else there, which I thought was really funny. I'm like, there's literally no one else there but the camera crew.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
yeah. So I thought that was kind of funny because they really don't ever acknowledge the fact that they're being filmed.
No, never.
Yeah, you're right. Then we flip to a scene with Elsie, who we haven't seen for a long time, and her resident pet, Jen Bunny. Jen is there helping her pack for a work trip to San Francisco, where Lauren's going to help
Wait,
out with
did
the
you
trunk
say
show.
Our resident pet.
I did.
It just hit me. I'm sorry. That's funny.
I was waiting for laughs on that one. So
I
thank
know.
you.
It just hit me. I'm like, Adrienne just said pet. That's funny. I love that I got you guys in on this.
Yeah.
Oh, I can only see her as the rat now. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have no idea how happy this makes me.
We all have a common dislike for her, so
Yes.
we get it.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are my true soulmates.
And given that Lauren isn't in school right now, actually, I take that back. She is in school, right?
Yeah,
She's
I
going
think so.
to UC
UC
Irvine.
yeah.
Right. Okay, but it is very impressive that she was able to land this fashion internship after only having like half a year of school experience. Because let me tell you, when I was looking for internships when I was in school, like I did one after my second year of university, and it was like an unpaid internship for the whole summer.
Mhm.
And that was like really hard to get. I had to like interview. And now looking back, I'm like, I had to interview for an unpaid internship. What the hell? Okay.
I think internships are so awful.
It's
like
so messed up
they're
to not
so
pay.
awful.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like I get it for some professions, I guess. Like obviously like there's externships for like medical stuff and like you kind of have to do those. Those are like you have to have hands-on experience and like they can't pay you because you're not like certified or
Mhm.
whatever. But an internship I think is just ridiculous.
An unpaid
Yeah,
internship,
unpaid,
right?
An
yeah.
unpaid, yes.
Okay,
yeah.
yes. I think paid internships are actually quite valuable. Like,
Yes, paid.
Right.
I just think
Yes,
it's so
yes.
silly to not get paid for the work that you're doing.
Yeah.
Even if it's low.
Exactly, yeah. It's also silly because, like, you don't know when your internship ends. Like, are they going to hire you? Or is it just going to be like,
Yeah.
okay, bye? You know?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I will say, I freaking loved Lauren's outfit in this scene.
Me too.
She looks so beachy and cute in her flowy tank top and mini skirt. And
Mhm.
I just had the thought, like, what I would give to raid Elsie's closet even today. Like, now and then. Like, I would
Yeah.
still raid her 2000s closet and her today closet. And I would be the happiest girl
Agreed.
alive. Like, if I could just get like 5 pieces from each
Mhm.
era, you know? I would even start wearing chunky headbands and doing side ponies again. Like I ever stopped.
I know. I was going to say you
Yeah.
have that in your closet.
I do.
You told us.
I have many a chunky headband and
And chunky necklaces.
well, I really don't do the chunky necklaces as much
No?
anymore. But I do have them. I just don't do them as much anymore.
I
Mhm.
kept mine from years ago because I love them, and they really dress up a plain outfit. Like they're really good, and I'm like,
Yeah.
they're gonna come back, so I'm gonna keep all of mine because they're gonna come back in style.
I have most of my old jewelry too, and now it's in like a dress up box for the girls to play with. So
Aw,
yeah,
that's cute.
they love it though, and I'm like, cool, get some use out of that. 'cause-
Such a good idea.
yeah, I'm glad I didn't throw it away.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
I need to have a baby to pass on my chunky headbands.
Oh gosh,
too.
yeah, that's the
Yeah,
only reason.
and dress them up.
Yeah.
Jen asks if Lauren's going up to see Steven in San Francisco, and Lauren gives him a call. They make plans to hang out when she's in San Francisco, and Jen ends off the scene with asking Lauren, dinner as friends, right? And Lauren gives her a, yeah.
Yeah, the flip phones make me laugh in this scene, but they always make me laugh.
Then it's time for the fiesta to start. Friends start arriving at Alex H's house, including Cedric and Jason, and when Jessica catches a glimpse of Jason at the party, she makes a face at her friend Courtney like, oh my gosh, what do I do? And then Talon arrives at the party, but he appears pretty cold and standoffish, and Kristin tells him, you're not very talkative, Talon.
So Jessica does make that face, but she's very mature in saying hi to Cedric and Jason
Yeah.
when they come in. and them completely ignoring her is a mood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, hi guys, and they like literally have no reaction to her, nor do they care, and I'm like, oh, that hurts, knife to the gut, like that hurts, Jess. You know, you've been there. You just broke up with somebody like a couple months ago, and then you're like trying to be mature, and they like don't even say anything.
Yeah. He could have said hi.
He could have said hi.
Jason's a douche. What'd you expect?
Why is he even there? Like, nobody he wants to hook up with is there, so. Oh, wait, he's already gone through half the grade at this point.
Yeah.
I was gonna go, maybe Kristin? No, okay. Well.
No, Kristin only liked him before he was terrible, remember? She says that.
So Kristin walks over to Jessica, who is stuffing her face with candy from the party, which is so cute. And Jessica is wearing the cutest hat, by the way. I don't know what you call this style of hat,
It's
but
so
like
cute.
it's so cute. We'll
It's
post
like
it on
an
our
army
Instagram.
hat.
Yeah, we'll post it on our Instagram so you guys can see it. But if anyone knows what this is called, army hat, let us know because I love it.
so
I want
cute.
one.
I know, I literally have Jessica look so cute in that hat. I'd look ridiculous in that hat. Also, I love how absolutely smashed Kristin is right now. Her words of drunk wisdom is so funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me get to it. So Kristin squeezes herself onto the same chair as Jessica and asks her what's wrong. And Jessica says she's just tired. And Kristin says, you're really upset because Jason's here. And Jessica says, no, no, no. And all the while, by the way, this is the most drunk that Kristin has looked on camera. I feel like she's been drunk before, but she's like done a really good job of hiding it. But like there was no hiding it
But
in
Jessica's
this scene.
still trying to have a genuine conversation with
Yeah.
her. It's like
Yeah.
the worst part. Like Jessica's like trying. Kristin's like, no.
Jessica tries to tell her that she's not upset just because of Jason. And then Kristin says she understands how Jessica feels because she also misses having a boyfriend, Steven, but it's not like she wants to be with him. She just misses what they had. She tells Jessica she shouldn't get mad at herself for that. And then Kristin says the whole reason she wanted Steven after he got with Lauren was because she couldn't have him anymore. Then she had to tell herself, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Then Jessica perks up and thanks Kristin for this drunk little pep talk, and they stand up, hug, and give a cute little peck on the lips. And here you go. Kristin is such a good friend. At least it appears to be. When you watch this, I'm like, oh, but just you wait, okay?
I said Kristin is drunk, but she's trying to be a good friend. Like, it's sweet. And the drunk kisses. It made me miss high school parties.
And the drunk, like her trying to give good advice.
Yeah.
Which Jessica took, but I was just like, go away.
I know. It's like weird to watch. Like, first of all, I think this was the only episode I watched as a teenager where I was like, they're drunk. Like, this was the only episode.
I still didn't clock it as a teen.
Didn't notice.
I did this one for sure. I think it was Kristin. Like, it was just too over the top. And I was like, I think they're drunk. And it was like a fiesta. So I was like, they're definitely drinking margaritas, you know? So I definitely was like, oh my God, they're underage drinking. How dare they?
I'm boycotting this.
Yeah. I was such a goody two shoes in high school though. Did you guys drink in high school?
No.
I drank, but I told my mom every single time. And I was like, Mom, I'm going to my friend's house. We're going to have drinks here. Can you pick me up after?
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. I hope
them.
that's
Oh
how
my
my
God.
kids are.
I know. I would have never told my parents, but I didn't drink in high school. I didn't have my first sip of alcohol till I was 19.
Same. Me too.
But were you around like parties where there was alcohol?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and you just didn't drink?
I would leave.
Oh.
When the alcohol came out, I would leave. I was the wet blanket. My dad was an alcoholic. I had never seen it, but he was an alcoholic, and I've been told that my whole life. And I was like, they were always like scare tactic, like it runs in families. Like, so I literally thought if I had one sip of alcohol, I would like be a trash alcoholic. So like I was so scared to even like take one sip. And so when the alcohol would come out at parties, I would literally just go home. I would just like call my mom and be like, I'm done. Like,
It's time to go.
yeah. It drove Kelsey crazy because she would like wanted to have fun with me, and I was like, I'm out of here. So
Would she have to leave too?
No, she stayed.
Okay.
No, the parties, to be honest, the parties were usually at her house, so she really couldn't leave, and I lived literally within walking distance. Like, I always called my mom, but I could have walked home if I really wanted to.
I didn't drink till I was 19 either, same, but I remember after our senior prom, a bunch of us went back to one of my friends. Her aunt had like a mansion like on a lake, and they were like, oh, you guys can come spend the night. So like 10 of us went. And me and my friend who did not drink, there are pictures of us somewhere where we found beer like in their fridge, and we have pictures of us pretending to drink the beer. Like, it's so ridiculous.
Look at us.
We're like, we're so cool, even though we did not open it. So
That's
yeah.
so funny.
And then when you were 19, did you know how to drink? Like,
no,
neither did we.
No.
I remember we got like a bunch of fuzzy navels, like the wine coolers, and we were trying to get drunk on them and couldn't understand why we didn't feel anything. Because there's like
all sugar.
there's like no alcohol in it, and I remember just being like, I don't understand. Like, why is this fun?
I think I had Mike's Hard Lemonade was the first thing I tried. Like, of course.
I feel like that's like everyone's first foray into wine coolers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember your first time getting like very drunk?
Like sick?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mine was when I was in film school, and we would have parties like every Friday. Like all of us would get together, and oh gosh, my friend Katie, she's going to be mad that I'm saying this, but I'm going to out her on this.
Hello, Katie.
She bought a giant jug of sangria from Walgreens for like $10. And I got so drunk, and that was the first time I ever was like puking and stuff. And like, I cannot have, like, anytime I have sangria now, I'm just like, oh my god, like I feel like I'm like tasting it again.
Even now?
I like white sangria now, but it's like the grape, like the really dark purple
The
stuff.
red,
Yeah. So it's her fault.
Oh no.
What about you, Adrienne? Do you remember your first really drunk time?
Oh my god. Okay. I drank in high school, but like very casual, like nothing serious. Even when I went to university. So like when you're 19 in Canada, you're legal to drink. And that's like basically in your first year of university. So I went, and I was still like kind of scared because I was in a new environment. So I'm like, I'm not going to get like super drunk. So I'm fine. Second year, it was like my birthday in September. I'm like, you know what? I've got a year of drinking in my belt. I'm like, I can do this. I'm going to have a great birthday party. I'm going to go out to the club. I'm going to go with all of my friends, and we're going to have a great time. Of course, everyone wants to buy you drinks on your freaking birthday, which is awesome. Yeah. But also, I am the kind of person that cannot control myself, because I will take everything that
you
people
can't say
like
no.
buys me. Yeah.
And then you're like mixing everything together.
Oh my god,
it
was so
I feel
bad.
sick just thinking about it.
I remember being like on the upstairs of this club and just getting sick, and like security guards would come around and like look, like shine a light at people to make sure that they're like okay.
Yeah.
And so every time I saw a security guard come around, I would like sit up straight, and I would just like appear fine. And the second that they walked away, I would slump over again, and I was like puking in all of like, the empty cups everywhere.
My gosh. Oh.
My friend, thankfully, Maggie, got me home.
Shout out to Maggie.
Yeah.
Shout out to Maggie. She got me home. I stole one of those cups because I was like puking in the cab too, I'm pretty sure. Oh. And that was like awful. That was awful. That was enough to scare me from like drinking excessively at clubs again, because it was just so bad. It's not even like it's fine, embarrassing, but who cares? I can't remember anything. But like, it's uncomfortable. Like, it is such a bad feeling.
And when you're not like at home or at someone's house, and you're like at a club puking, like that's
it's
even
the
worse.
worst.
You're like in a public space like that. Yeah.
It's
awful.
Yeah. I feel sick just thinking about it, but honestly, so when I was 19, I had just started drinking, and I like hadn't done very much. We did like fuzzy navels, and then I had this 23-year-old boyfriend that I thought was like so mature of me to have a boyfriend. He was older because he was like established and he had a career, and it It was so dumb. He was like a geologist. Yeah, I'm like, he had a party at his house, and there's something to be said about a 23-year-old that's inviting a bunch of 18 and 19-year-olds to his house for a party. But
That's true.
he had a party at his house, and we played the drinking game King's Cup.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
And I drank the King's Cup.
Oh, no. Oh, my gosh.
And that's probably still to this day the drunkest I've ever been in my life.
Oh, my gosh.
And I just remember like trying to make out with him in like the King's Cup circle, and him being like, no, like this is, like, you know, like really making out with him. And yeah, I remember I ended up on his bathroom floor that night, puking. And yeah, it was not a good night, but that was probably that was my very first time getting completely trashed. So
King's Cup, I feel like you could not pay me now to drink like the King's Cup, but when you were younger, it was like, oh, I lost. I've got to drink the
Gotta
King's
do this.
Cup.
I don't know what was in that thing, but I drank it, and it was foul. I remember it being absolutely foul. And just awful. And like, it's terrible because I don't even remember like much after I drank that. Like, it's like it's like almost a whole blackout.
Yeah.
Like it's too many alcohols. Don't play King's Cup.
Yes.
Yeah.
Play any other game.
And not just the alcohol now. I cannot even get over the fact that it's like people spit.
Yeah.
Like everyone's pouring it into this cup.
I know.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Can you imagine in the COVID era?
Oh my gosh.
God.
Yeah.
Are kids these days still playing King's Cup?
I don't know. That's probably not cool anymore.
Yeah.
If there's any Gen Zers that listen to this, can you let us know what drinking games you play so we could be cool too?
Yeah. Are there any new ones we need to try out?
Because I just remember beer pong and King's Cup. I honestly can't even remember any other drinking games.
We did Flip Cup. That was one.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
And then Never Have I Ever. I feel like we did that a lot.
Never,
Yeah.
never,
Yeah.
I feel like they don't play these at all anymore. Do they even get drunk anymore?
Good question.
Okay, then we see Alex H running around shaking maracas, trying to get everyone pumped, but all the guys just sit around kind of looking really lame. And I don't know why people are so lame at this party. I don't know what was
Yeah.
happening, but like Alex and Kristin were really trying to pump everyone up. Like they were trying to get people to stand up and hit the piñatas, and the guys were taking turns like hitting the piñata, but we only see one guy do it before it busts like wide open. And
Mhm.
they're cheering and everything, but the guys are just like blah. Alex and Kristin are super wasted at this point because Alex dances down the steps of her patio as Kristin waves to everyone singing Miss America, Miss America. And then she had a lovely burp at the end. She
That
laughed
was
so hard at.
funny.
And yeah, it's so funny because these are like real moments of being drunk, but
Yeah.
it's just so funny we're seeing this on TV.
I know. I love it.
We pan to Alex H, Jessica, and Jeff taking selfies as they make kissy faces into her digital camera. And we've seen Jeff before. He was Alex H's winter formal date that she made out with in the limo.
Jeff was really making his rounds on these girls.
Yeah.
Like,
He's getting around.
for real. But I will, like, the selfies with the digital camera, like, so
I know.
cute. So
I love that.
millennial. Like, I
So
love
millennial,
it.
I know.
And like Jeff loving on Jessica, so cute. She deserves it
Ew.
so much.
No.
I know. Because like you're only saying that because you know what happens. But if you
Yes.
didn't know what happened, you would think it was
Mhm.
super cute.
Okay, I don't know if that's true because I think that, okay, of course Jeff can't help it, but like Jeff has a very baby face. And
Mhm.
he
He's
looks like
so
he's about 12.
cute.
He
Okay.
does. It's
So
like
I
he's in
don't-
middle school.
Yeah, he looks like he's in middle school. I don't know if I find this like cute.
I think him and Jessica also kind of look like siblings, but like they're also just I don't know, like it's cute. I don't know. He does look like
It's
he's
cute
about
to
12,
see
though.
Jessica happy. I think that's
Yes.
what like you're so happy
Yeah.
about.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I hate this next scene, you guys. We see Jessica and Alex talking on the side with some friends, and then we pan to Kristin, who is sitting on a bench biting Jeff's elbow. Then he has his arm around her while Kristin is talking to someone about how she doesn't like Talon.
I don't like Talon.
Yeah.
Nice. I don't like Talon. I don't like Talon like that.
She is so drunk or like high in this scene. It's so bad. And her eyes aren't like rolling or anything, but like her judgment is out the window. Out the window. And they keep panning back to Jessica and Alex H, who are like staring out into the ocean. And then we pan back to Kristin and Jeff, who are all over each other, kissing each other on the cheek. And then suddenly a freaking lollipop appears, and Jeff is holding the lollipop. He gives it to Kristin, then he sucks it himself, and then when it's her turn to take the lollipop, she opens her mouth, but Jeff leans in for a kiss instead. And then they start to make out.
He was really smooth. He was smooth with that kiss, though.
Oh my God.
I was like, I would have fallen for that shit, too. He was smooth.
I was like, this conniving little man. So he, I feel like, is one of those people that are like, I gotta get with every single girl on the show. First was Alex H in Winter Formal. He knows he's gonna date Jessica, and then now he's gotta like make out with Kristin. I was like, I cannot with this guy. He has got to go. And that move with the lollipop, sure, smooth, whatever, but disgusting. Okay, disgusting.
But I just thought that was like the most adult makeout scene too. Like they were like, it was nasty. So adult. I was like,
yeah.
First of all, if a guy was like sucking on my lollipop in high school, I would have been like, what?
I know.
Like, that is so sexual. I would have been like, I have to go home and take 5 showers. Like, that is too much, my dude.
So Jeff would have continued making out with her, but Kristin actually pulls away and giggles because she clearly knows she like fucked up here. But they continue to kiss and make out while the scene fades. I'm just like, what the fuck was that, you guys?
Yeah.
I was so mad.
I think Kristin was just drunk and he was there.
Yeah. I guess because she was so drunk and her judgment was impaired, when he was the one that like leaned in for the kiss, I was like, get the fuck away from her, okay? Your girl is standing like maybe 20 feet away, and you are supposed to love her, not Kristin.
But did he like Jessica? Do we know that he had feelings for her? Do we know that?
1,000%. Okay. They were doing that kissy face in the camera. Jessica was so excited. She said he was calling her every single day.
Okay.
And then later in the episode, she actually says all of his friends admit to her that he likes her. So yeah, he does.
Okay. All right.
He does.
Okay.
And like, ugh, he's just such a little boy. I can't.
Adrienne, your hate for Jeff right now.
Sorry, I know. Adult Adrienne hating on like teenage Jeff.
Poor Jeff.
I did not like this behavior.
Jeff, if you're out there, we want your story. We want to know about the fiesta.
Jeff, if you're out there, stay home. Okay.
Don't come to Adrienne's fiesta.
Yeah.
Jeff is not invited to Adrienne's fiesta.
No. I know. Will you guys be the gatekeepers at my party?
Yes.
Okay,
Jeff's
good.
allowed.
No Jeff.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my God. I've never been asked to be a gatekeeper before. I just used to ask people to be my gatekeepers. This is so exciting.
No Jeff. No Jeff.
No Jeff. Jeff is on the do not invite list.
I hope he shows up so we can kick him out, though.
I know. That's
That'd be
really... Cool. First of all, where's your fiesta going to be? Because it's got to be a neutral place where we can all meet.
And invite Jeff.
Yeah.
I mean, not invite him, but, you know.
He'll just show up.
Yeah, he'll just know.
I mean, we did call him out in this podcast.
Yeah.
Jeff, you have been challenged.
Then we get a wholesome clip of Elsie in San Francisco, who is at her internship. This was a very short scene, but I feel like they did that right after that scene with Kristin and Jeff to just show like the stark difference between the both of them.
Yeah.
They're like, and Lauren's doing her job. Great.
Yeah.
Because literally nothing happened in that scene. It was literally just her at her internship.
No, but I did love seeing her in her element.
I know, you love her. You love her. We get it. You love her.
Adrienne, stop calling me out.
I don't even remember what she did. Elsie just like hanging up clothes, and then Candace is like, I love her.
Okay, that is not what I said. I said I like seeing her in her element. God. Next episode, I'm not saying anything about Elsie. Keeping my mouth shut.
It'd be an Elsie heavy episode. Okay, let's see.
Wow, Candace really didn't talk much in that episode.
Then we get to Taylor, Morgan, and Alex, who are playing pool at Morgan's house. They talk about the fiesta that they weren't invited to last night and said that the boys called them to tell them that it was lame. Morgan tells them that Kristin and Jeff Boyle hooked up last night, and Alex M gasps, and Taylor instantly says, "What a bitch!" And they both say how rude it is because they all know that Jessica likes him. Taylor says, "See, no feelings," which I laughed at.
But Taylor isn't wrong, though.
No, she's not wrong.
No, she's not
Like,
wrong.
no
I love
feelings.
it. I love it. Because you know that no one on like Alex, H, and Jessica would never say that. So it's like really nice to hear from girls that would actually say something.
Yeah.
Alex asks, wait, was Jessica there? And then they deduce that, of course, she was at the party. And then Taylor tells them that Talon called her last night after the party to tell her about the conversation with Kristin and about how the girls weren't invited. Talon says Kristin said Morgan's allowed to be here. But when he asked, what about the other girls? Kristin says, I'll tell you later. And the girls are not happy about it. In the next scene, we see Alex, Kristin, and Jessica going to lunch the day after the fiesta. All they say is that the party was fun, and Jessica says that after she got over her initial hang-up about Jason, she was fine. Alex H says that she likes how the party was all boys, and they giggle. She says supposedly Alex and Taylor are really mad that they weren't invited, and Kristin sarcastically says, I'm sorry, but apparently they don't really hang out, so Alex isn't really sure why they'd be mad.
Yeah, guess the makeup dinner is donezo.
I know. Okay, editing.
Yeah.
Kristin says that's why she isn't going to wave rave, because being on a bus with all those people just doesn't sound very appealing to her. And Jessica says, I want to go because Jeff's going.
Okay, but I'm confused as to how Kristin is just sitting there like she didn't fully make out with Jeff 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Queen Bee doesn't have to answer to anything.
Also, Jessica and her hats.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah. That was another super cute hat, yeah.
Kristin says, you really like Jeff, huh? And Jessica blushes and says, I don't know if I like him or if I just think he's so cute. Which, again, I kind of understand because he has such a baby face, but it's like he's baby cute, not cute.
Adrienne, that's because we're like 30 and Jeff is like 15. You would not think this if you were a teenager.
You know what? I will agree with that because I did love a baby face back then.
Yes.
Too.
I've noticed this thing happening to me where like I am so into like daddies on television, like dads, like hot dads.
Oh my God, do you think that's what's happening to us?
Yeah, we're getting old.
Oh my God.
And it's a good thing. It means we're not like, you know,
stuck in some kind of weird
yeah, attracted to 15-year-olds.
Yeah.
So, but like I'm not into that like thing that I used to be into anymore. Like
Ew,
it's just
you're
not...
so right though.
I know.
You're
like,
so right.
No,
I used to love this baby face with that like puffy cheeked kind of look.
And the flippy hair.
The flippy hair and this kind of like doe-eyed, not doe-eyed, but like dumb, like, you know?
Yeah.
But now it's weird to see a man with a baby face nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Alex says, you get a big smile on your face every time you talk to him. And the camera pans to Kristin, who looks guilty, okay? But she continues to tease Jessica about how she's blushing, and Jess pulls her hat down to cover her cheeks. And Jessica says she thinks it's a good opportunity for her and Alex to be in the same vicinity and not have Alex want to wring her neck. And oh my God, because do you think that Kristin and Jessica talked about her makeout with Jeff before they filmed? Do you think she apologized before filming this scene? Because I don't know how they got through this scene without that being the topic of conversation.
I don't think she apologized. I think it was just something that happened and they just
moved on.
Yeah.
She did look so uncomfortable though, like rightfully so.
But why even, like, I would not say anything. Like the fact that she's like, you really like Jeff, huh? I would have said nothing. I would have been silent.
Yeah.
I would have thrown up. I feel like I can't hide, like when you're feeling so guilty like that, like you just can't sit there and talk and have a normal conversation.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're Kristin Cavallari.
Now we're in San Fran, and we see Lauren with a huge chunky necklace over a black t-shirt working at a clothing store. We see Steven walk through the doors, and Lauren runs over and gives him a big hug and a squeal. And this is when I know this is fake MTV stuff, because you would never run and hug and squeal at a friend at your workplace. Okay? Oh, Candace is giving a look. Do you do that?
I'm trying to think if I would or not.
Yeah.
No.
If I was leaving.
At your grown-up workplace?
She's not really that grown up, though.
Okay, but this is like, you know that you're like working hard at an internship to impress them.
Adrienne, you're like really professional and like.
Oh my God. She's like 19. Oh my God, you would do this at 19?
I think so. And I like wouldn't even have thought twice about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, how about you, Liz?
I didn't think it was that big of a deal, mostly because they were leaving. I saw it as kind of just like my shift is over. I'm excited to see you. Bye, everybody, sort of thing. So, I don't know.
Okay.
If they would have started like kissing or something, that would have been inappropriate.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Adrienne, I feel like you're like really.
I'm not openly expressive this way.
Yes.
So I feel like you even see this, I'm like, oh God, this is so unprofessional.
Yeah,
okay.
you're like very like no PDA, like professional, like
PDA
person.
is for your personal life. It is not gonna come into my work life.
You're so funny. Yeah, no, I think that you just have a very like no nonsense, like when I'm being a professional person, and like that's fine,
and that's good.
That's amazing. But like I am not like that.
Okay, you guys can tell me the flip side when I have these opinions.
No, I love it because like your personality comes out so much, and like I love it because like sometimes I'm like, no.
I know, and then when I say it and I see your faces, I'm like, oh.
I'm like, that's not really that weird.
Then Lauren and Steven head out, and they're riding in his truck, where Steven reveals that he's not going back to San Francisco after the summer. Instead, him and his brother are moving to LA. Then Lauren says, Steven, senior year, I decided I wanted to go to San Francisco, and you decided you wanted to go to San Francisco. Then I decided to move to LA. Steven, are you following me? Which I thought was so cute.
That was very cute.
She wishes.
Okay, 1 year ago, Lauren wishes. Now Lauren doesn't give an F.
I agree with that.
Maybe.
Candace doesn't.
Also, I wish that she would have given Steven a hard time about leaving San Francisco, because he gave her such a hard time.
That's true.
And this was only like 6 months later or something.
Well, like, to be fair, Steven really needs to do important things in LA, like be on One Tree Hill.
Like act, yeah.
So, I mean...
He's got stuff to do, yeah.
You know, he says at some point that he, like, never planned to finish, like, his degree or whatever in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why did he give Lauren such a hard time? You're right.
Yeah, that just made me mad.
Because he didn't want to be alone up there, probably.
He wasn't even talking to Lauren at that time.
Okay, I don't know then. I give up.
No, it's One Tree Hill. He had that gig waiting. They then head into a restaurant for dinner, and they're seated at the corner by the window. Then we get shots of them through the window, which means that there would have been producers just outside of the restaurant, like filming directly through the window. And I don't know why, but the thought of that just makes me laugh, because it's normal to be filmed like inside the restaurant, but to have someone just like standing right outside next to you while you're eating, like that's funny.
How awkward.
Yeah, it's so weird.
This whole scene is weird.
Steven asks her how Laguna Beach is, and Lauren says she's never in LB because she has school in Irvine twice a week. Lauren brings up that Kristin's moving to LA too, and Steven says her and Alex have a place together in Marina del Rey. Lauren asks how they are, and Steven says they're chill, and Lauren says, so you're still close. And Steven does one of those, Then he says they'll always be close, but I don't know. And then we see Lauren looking down as if she's upset, but I'm pretty sure she did not care, because knowing what happens next, I feel like Lauren is so over Steven at this point. So I really don't think she cares, like, how he feels about Kristin at this point.
Yeah.
Steven recounts how they had their first kiss during one night in senior year. Steven says that she had her hand on the door with a huge sign saying, Steven, come in. And Lauren says, no, we were looking through my yearbook to try to find a guy for me. And Steven says, hey, I knew exactly what you were doing. That was a great pickup. I'll give you that. And then he fist bumps Lauren and she laughs. She says, that was the sweetest first kiss I've ever had. And Steven says, it's always something I wanted to go. And Lauren goes, aw, Steven. And then Steven asks, what do you think would have happened if me and you had a full-on relationship that lasted? And Lauren goes, I don't know. And the conversation is flirty in nature here, but Lauren's vibe is so different. Like, she would have been eating this up in the past, but like here she feels like she's just like reminiscing about the past.
She's all grown up.
Oh my God, stop. Stop. She's into somebody else.
Yeah.
Already?
Yeah, because in Valentine's Day, she was still after Steven. Remember? That was so sad when he gave her chocolates or whatever, but didn't ask her out for Valentine's Day. And that was like genuine. Like, she was sad.
Yeah.
When she found out that he took Kristin out for dinner.
I like to think she's all grown up.
I know you do. We see her and Steven walk back to the car, and Steven says, we get into some funny conversations. Then they walk up and stare at the bridge, and Steven says, what a view, which I know you guys will hate, so I had to do that.
Yes. I wrote that down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So funny.
Steven.
What a view.
Steven, why? Why can't you just be normal? You're never normal. Like, and just when I think that you're gonna be normal, you say something like this. So
I know it annoys you guys so much, but yeah, I think it's kind of cute.
I think it's hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
Isn't it so weird? We all have different versions of what we think is cute. So weird.
That means we'll never fall for the same guy. It's a good thing.
They point out the bridge, and Steven says it leads to the airport where I picked you up, and then the scene ends. So we're really left here thinking maybe the Steven and Lauren thing can really happen here. I feel like that's what MTV is trying to make us feel.
Yeah. Also, the Journey song, When the Lights Go Down in the City, I love that song so much. And it was so...
It's a good one.
Very fitting for that scene. Walking to the city, obviously. But
it's a good one.
I love it.
Next, the gang are at the Wave Rave, and I feel like I can't say that without calling it the Wave Rave, so excuse me. It's in San Diego, and Liz, as a resident of San Diego, have you ever gone to the Wave Rave?
Before Liz tells us about the Wave Rave, why did they travel to San Diego for a fake wave when they live in Laguna Beach? For free.
Also, the Wave Rave is on a beach also. So there's like the ocean right there.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know, it's like, weird.
What do you call this? Is this a sport? I'm like, indoor surfing, but they're not indoors. They're outdoors.
No, they're outside, yeah. So it's funny, this place was actually called the Wave House. So I don't know why on the show they say Wave Rave. There's even a point where somebody's on the wave and you can see that it says Wave House in the background. So I don't know why they changed it, but anyways, yes, I've been there many times. It's not open anymore. It closed down in like 2016, I want to say.
Aww.
But yeah, when I first moved here and I was 19, 20 years old, it's in Mission Beach, which is, it's like a really cool like boardwalk area. So there's like a roller coaster and there's like carnival games and stuff like that. And then they had this wave house thing with the giant wave and a big restaurant. And so me and Katie, we would go to the beach quite a bit there and like do bonfires and stuff like that. But yeah, we lots of times would eat at that restaurant and just sit there and watch people fall on the wave. And it was like the funniest thing. So it was really good people watching. But I don't know why they do this. Like, what is the point? I have no clue.
Consistent waves? I have no idea, man.
I was like so angry about this trip. Why? You live in Laguna Beach. You could literally walk outside of your house, hop on a surfboard. There you are.
Yeah, this seems like it would be more for people who don't live by a beach
Correct.
and don't have access to the water. 'Cause
Correct.
I know they have these on cruise ships. I know that.
But
So
isn't the wave kind of like bad sometimes? Like you don't know how the tide or the
Mhm.
water or whatever is going to be. So this is like a
That's
consistent
true.
wave.
It's the same wave every time.
Yeah.
That's true.
It was something to do for high school kids.
Yeah.
Who knows? We get clips of Cedric, Talon, and Jeff riding the wave, and Alex, Morgan, Taylor, and Jess are cheering on the side. And when Jeff gets on the wave, Jessica says, "He's so cute." Back at Laguna, Alex and Kristin are getting their nails done at the salon. Alex asks her if you're sad because you didn't go to the wave, and they both laugh. They say Jessica isn't amped to surf, but that she'll get to hang out with Alex and that she'll get to see Jeff. Then Kristin asks if she thinks she's mad that she kissed Jeff. And Alex says she probably isn't mad, but she's just like, damn. And Kristin says, it's not like I like Jeff, you know? And I said, God, the enabling here. They really just like let her walk all over the place like she is Queen Bee. And I mean, it is who she is, but at least make her feel bad for it.
She does kind of try to tell her it's kind of shady, but like
Mm-hmm.
doesn't really follow through.
No.
No.
Kristin does say, though, she wouldn't tell me if she was mad. So, like, she knows.
Yeah.
And Alex looks at her and says, no, she wouldn't. And she would act like she didn't care, even though she really does. And Kristen's like, yeah, but she's really thinking, fuck you, bitch. Which I thought was funny. She says she just wasn't thinking straight, and there happened to be something right there. Alex says Jessica's the kind of girl that will do anything for a guy, and Kristen says that's not good. When I watched this show back in the day again, told you guys how much I was team Kristen, and they really painted Kristen as this like confident girl who was the life of the party, but she was also like a really loyal friend when her friends
Mhm.
needed her. But when we got to this episode, my image of her totally shattered. So I was so upset when I watched this episode
Aw.
Poor Adrienne.
because I loved her.
Yeah.
Kristen was
Yeah.
like they really like painted her to be like the best person, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the next scene, we see Jessica telling the girls, I want Jeff so bad, oh my god. And the girls say that they think he likes her too. And Jessica says, really? You think? And then starts to smile. Morgan asks, do Kristen and Alex still hook up with him? And Jessica's face is like, what the fuck? They ask her if she's pissed off that Kristen hooked up with Jeff at the fiesta, and Jessica says, it's like Kristen too, who's like 20 times prettier than me, 20 times better than me. So I'm like, this sucks so bad.
It makes me so sad.
I know.
Like,
I
that's not
know.
true, for one.
No.
Like,
I know.
You're gorgeous. You have great qualities, too. Like, don't, like, but I get it. It must be really hard to
Mhm.
be friends with somebody like Kristen. And I've said that before, but I just feel bad for her in the scene.
But yeah, I feel bad for her, but thank gosh these girls are like, no, 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 no. Taylor says, Jessica, that's not true. Not only are you pretty on the outside, but you're gorgeous on the inside, and that's something she's lacking. Love Taylor.
I loved how Alex M and Taylor were being better friends to Jessica than like Kristen and Alex H have been in like a while, it feels
Mhm.
like.
Yeah.
And that Alex M and Jessica are just like totally cool with each other now. Like
They're both over Jason.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah. He was the problem. Then we pan back to Kristen and Alex at the nail salon talking shit about the wave rave and the girls. Then back at the wave rave, Jessica tells the group she doesn't want to call Kristen today, and we see Jeff saying, you mad at her or something? And Jessica says, I just know she'll give me shit for coming down here. And Jeff asks why. And Jessica says, 'cause it's Kristen. And Jeff has the balls to say, she's an idiot. God, I hate this guy.
But how sad is it, and how telling of Jessica's relationship with Kristen, that Kristen's gonna give her shit for going somewhere where she thought she was gonna have a good time and be
Mhm.
with other friends, and Kristen was gonna make her feel like shit about it.
Very. But you know
Yeah.
what's one good thing I feel like is that she actually says this out loud.
Yeah.
So like I feel like if you're feeling like what's the word? Like down one in the relationship. I don't know how you say that. Like in the friendship, you maybe would like internalize that and like keep that all inside because you're embarrassed or whatever for feeling that way. But like
Yeah.
it's good that she's like saying it out loud because she like wants people to see Kristin for who she is in this relationship.
Yeah.
Taylor asks, why would she give you shit? And Jessica says it's because Kristin assumed since she didn't want to go that they all wouldn't want to go, and that's annoying. Taylor says that based on how much Kristin disliked her, that you would actually think she did something to her, and Jessica agrees. Taylor says she has never met someone who has so much fun hating people. Then the last scene is Jessica and Jeff walking down the beach chatting, and I wrote, it actually looks like they're back in Laguna Beach and not at the wave rave, but Liz, you said it's literally next to a beach, so it really could have been
it's on the
at
beach.
the wave rave.
I think it's Mission Beach, yeah.
I was like, that's so bizarre. They were just at the wave
Yeah.
rave.
It's literally like the wave rave, and then there's like a little sidewalk, and then there's the ocean. So
Oh gosh.
I think that Jessica and Jeff are so cute.
Oh my god. Even after what happened though, we're at the end of the episode.
I think Jeff's a douchebag, but I still think that they're cute.
Ew. Okay. Favorite outfits, guys.
Okay, so I wrote down Kristin's pink tank top and miniskirt at the fiesta, but I'm changing my mind because I forgot about that Lauren outfit with the flowy top and the miniskirt and that.
When she's packing?
Yes. Yeah.
that was actually the one I wrote down too, was her packing outfit.
Yeah, she was so put together.
I wrote Alex H's green like towel dress because I thought that was cute, but also Lauren's outfit when Steven was picking her up. I really like that like chunky necklace black t-shirt look. So
Lauren's outfits are always on point.
I know
Yes.
she wins
Yep.
all the time for her favorite outfits, and she appears for like 2 minutes. I swear.
I know.
Yeah.
She really isn't in much of like the middle of the season, and that's why I feel like the end of this season feels so like random.
Feels like a different show or like a different season
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
How about your favorite moment?
The Jessica and Jeff moments.
Stop.
Oh no.
What moment, Candace? You mean like when Kristin and Jeff made out on that bench?
No.
And Jessica was on the side looking at them?
No. All the other ones. No, I don't really like this episode, so like I wasn't like that was it. That was the only thing that I could think of. Like this is probably the worst episode of the whole season.
Yeah, I just kept writing in my notes all over, I hate this episode. God, I hate this episode. Because my perfect image of Kristin was shattered. And that's why I hated this episode.
So you don't have a favorite moment?
I will give it to don't hate the game, hate the player.
I said my favorite was when they go to the wave rave just because it brings back fun memories, and it's cool to see stuff that I've like local stuff like that on the show. So
Yeah.
but yeah, this isn't a great episode.
No.
Okay, it was super dramatic though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just hate what happened. Kristen was perfect. Until this.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
And Jeff ruined it.
It's all Jeff's fault.
Ew. Yeah.
Adrienne.
Get out of here, Jeff. You're not invited.
Yeah. No, come to my party so that Liz and Candace can kick you out.
So we can kick you out, yeah.
Poor Jeff. He probably listens to the podcast. He's going to be so sad.
Thank you so much for listening to our Season 2 recap of Laguna Beach. You can follow us on our Instagram at Millennial TeaV, that's Millennial TeaV on Instagram and on Reddit. And if you have any suggestions for our podcast, you can also send us an email at millennialtv@gmail.com. Again, that's millennialteav@gmail.com. Also, give us a follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts to get notified when we release our episodes every Tuesday. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.